flying squad.
On the 21st of October 1987, the flying squad, who specialise in armed robberies, were called to Tesco's supermarket in Brixton, where a Securicor guard had been attacked and robbed of £9,000. The guard received a serious knife wound in the kidneys, but after a 6-hour operation, his life was saved.
I mean, I'll just tell you very quickly. The object of today is to arrest Carlos Ricketts. We suspect him of committing an armed robbery at Tesco's.
The flying squad operation is the result of a Tesco's security guard identifying Carlos Ricketts from police photograph albums.
Ricketts made no demand. He just put the knife straight into the guard. A little fight ensued, and eventually the robber dropped the cash bag and ran across Acre Lane and towards Glendale Terrace, where we're going to sit up this morning. Chris and I have got an OP. We're right on top of him, so we'll be out straight away to follow him. We hopefully take him within 200 yards of his HO, once he's out of sight of his home address. The only thing that we have noticed, and we've followed him in the past, that he's well known in this area, and I'd like to get him in the vehicle as soon as possible, so prevent his parents, his friends and family finding out that he's been arrested before we go around there and search his premises. It'd be much easier if we had eyeball in his front door. You can relax a little bit more then. But to try and get an OP in his street, as it's a small dead end, it's likely that he probably knows everybody in the street. So that's why we were plumbing for this one, just covering the junction, knowing that he's got to come towards us. I mean, you take your eyes off that junction for a split second. In that split second, you're going to come around that corner and be out of my sight. You just have to concentrate. I've got no feelings towards him at all, likewise the victim. I mean, we took the statement from the victim in the hospital, and we spoke with him at length. But you just have to disassociate yourself from that. I think if you become involved, it's the day that I would stop becoming a policeman. You just have to be an outsider, just trying to do your job.
Detective Constable Hodgetts and his partner, Detective Constable Doherty, are two of the youngest members of the Flying Squad's Tower Bridge office. They use the long hours of surveillance to study for their sergeant's exams.
What's the grounds for continued detention between 24 and 36 hours?
The grounds for continued from 24 to 36? For superintendent or above, there's reasonable grounds for believing that the investigation is being conducted diligently and expeditiously.
Yeah.
All units, he's out. He's done a right. He's got I think he's got the jacket on, Chris, that he was wearing on the robbery. You got that, Dickie? Carlos Ricketts, just stay there. Stay where you are.
What are you doing?
Police officers. You're under arrest.
Just take it easy.
Just stay there for a minute. Yeah, Dom, come round.
We're police officers.
OK.
You're under arrest for robbery in Acre Lane a month ago. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. What you do is say, you're giving them evidence.
Understand? Right, we're going back to...
What's all this about?
We're going back to Brixton now. Come on, Carl.
Sit in the back. I want you to keep your arms on the top.
My arms on top.
Bring your legs over. Okay. Right, keep. Anyone else getting in? Adrian, get someone else in.
Yeah, Don, if you go with them. And then Terry can take back these. We'll get in the front.
Keep your hands up here.
Over that way.
Can you search him, please? You take
Wow.
take your watch and your rings and your jewellery off, put it down there, then the officer will search you.
No, hang on,
You
let
get-
us do it before you go any further.
If you listen to what I'm going to say, Carlos, while you're here, you're entitled to some rights. You can have someone informed of your detention or to consult a solicitor or consult with a copy of the codes of practice. You can do any of those things now, but if you don't wish to, you can do so later on. There's a notice outlining your rights, together with a copy of a form concerning legal advice. Do you understand that? Lovely. If you can come and sign your name here, please, for your property. There and there.
We're quite happy that we got his coat. For the knife, there was one left at the scene. That knife had no blood on it, and as you say, the guard was stabbed in the stomach. But we're told that it's not necessarily always that blood will be on a knife resulting from a stabbing.
Although it's gone into a person's stomach, there doesn't necessarily have to be traces of blood on it, because if it's come out through, depending on how fat the person is, it's come out through the body fat, through various layers of clothing. Whatever blood was on there as it's gone in could easily have been wiped off.
Mr. Ricketts, you're going to be given into the custody of this officer for interview.
Come on, Carlos, we'll have a chat to you, son. Straighten him down. Well, we've spoken to him at length. We put certain things to him. He denies any involvement in the robbery. Not all's lost yet. We've still got the identification parades. We knew at the end of the day that it might come down to identification parades. And in view of our witnesses, we feel quite confident that he might get picked out.
Brixton is the first police station in the country to introduce a special unit to run identification parades.
Keith gives you the form. If you fill in the necessary description on that, we will try and arrange to have the volunteers and everything else here for 4:30. Basically, that's it. We'll do the rest for you.
Lovely.
Okay?
Who's this solicitor that you want contacting?
It's a lead.
Sorry?
Lee Barnett.
Lee Byron.
No, Barnett.
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 We'll have to look up the number.
If they're not available, Matilla's.
Right, if we go back down the cells now, then once we've got in touch with them, we'll come and let you know. OK?
What are you shaking for? Come on.
The ID parade is being organised, and as the officers in the case, we're not allowed any dealings or anything to do with the ID parade and its arrangements and organisation, or its the running of it. If none pick him out, he won't be charged tonight. We haven't got enough evidence to proceed with him if he is not identified at the moment. But it would be a question of kicking him out, getting the forensic examination done, and then going ahead on the results of that at a later date. Hello? Yeah? Oh, you're joking. OK, cheers.
What happened?
I've got to go down there. They don't think they can get the ID parade off the ground. I don't know if there's problems with the Stooges or what, but they haven't run it yet and they're having problems. So we'll go down and see what they've got to say about it.
This was a gamble.
See, if we'd have known last night when he came in that he had a beard, we would have said no, full stop, because there's no time to do
That's right.
And then booked out for another day, so you could bail him, so he could actually jack it up. But as it stands now,
I mean, even if we offered that slot in the morning, we still haven't time to track down people. I mean, we've got ample people in there, but there's only 3 that are acceptable. 2 at the moment.
What time do we... is there any way we could fit him in tomorrow at all?
We haven't got the time to go out and get the blokes.
That's the problem. You see, we've got parades from 1 o'clock onwards, and we haven't got the time, unfortunately, to go out and do the necessary legwork.
Put it this way, could we... If we could get people from Tower Bridge to do that?
No.
We've got 3 parades on.
We've got 3 parades tomorrow as it is. It is a problem.
Because it's not even just a little beard, it's little beards you can usually get away with.
It's quite considerable.
because behind the glass, with that tint, a small growth doesn't show up whatsoever. But as it's quite a goat on it, it will show up, without a doubt.
we got today?
Friday.
We're looking at Friday the 18th.
That should be okay.
Yeah, if it's got to be done, it's got to be done.
I know the problem, because
I've got a lunch at day. No, not to worry. We'll do it. Yeah.
so does the officer in the last case.
Yeah. No, fit it in whenever you can.
Friday the 18th is 8 days away. Doherty and Hodgetts need identification evidence to charge Ricketts. But unless they can arrange an identification parade soon, Ricketts will be released. Once a suspect has been arrested, the police are bound by the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, PACE. This guarantees regular reviews by senior officers, and firm evidence has to be provided to keep a suspect in custody.
I don't think we haven't got enough to charge him, Chris. I know the problem's like, I mean, if we kick him out, we might not never see him again. But I still don't think...
We've got... I mean, I know it's not sufficient evidence for a conviction at the... If it was left at that, we have evidence, I think, to substantiate the charge, whether or not he's convicted of it. Well, that's not putting it right.
So he doesn't get picked out on the ID parades and on the 18th, so we don't offer no evidence against him.
I'll tell you what, we'll give it to Bill Mellish.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. Speak with Bill Mellish, see what he's going to say. All right.
Detective Chief Inspector Bill Mellish is in charge of the Tower Bridge office of the flying squad.
Yeah, a bit of advice on identification and whatever. Basically, we want to know whether or not we've got enough to charge someone under the circumstances. There was a robbery in Acre Lane. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. That's right. Well, this morning we've nicked the fellow. He doesn't want to know. I'm loath to kick him out because I think he'll disappear. But at the same time, I mean, if the ID suite here can't get the Stooges. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Doc. Yeah, I'll speak to you later anyway. Cheers. See you. Yeah, he says no. But what he suggested is, even if the ID suite can't do it, how about either moving him to somewhere else, or forgetting about the suite, ramping up our own parade with a duty officer here, trying to get one together sometime during the night. I mean, if she can't make, if the brief's got to go, then we'll get him other representation.
I mean, if they can't think about getting Stooges this time of night, I mean, where are we going to get the personnel from?
Well, let's go and sort her out. She can go.
Yeah, get rid of her.
Yeah.
And we'll decide what to do with him. Right.
Ricketts' solicitor has arrived, and after talking to her client, she meets Doherty and Hodgetts in the identification suite.
Obviously, we can't hold the parade here.
No.
We don't think at the moment we've enough evidence on which to charge him at the present time.
Right.
But however, at the moment, we're not releasing him as yet because we are going to try and get an ID parade together, possibly at another station even.
This evening?
We'll try this evening. If not, we'll try and see if we can keep him till tomorrow.
Well...
What?
Well, I'll wait and see what the inspector says after PACE, because he's due for a review, and we'll see what happens at that review, if you don't mind me being there present at that, and I'll see. Because I don't think at the moment you've got enough. If you can't charge him, they can't do an ID. I can't see you logically having another ID.
So are you saying then that at each review, if you've not got evidence to charge him, you should kick him out?
No, of course not.
Well,
I'm just saying that you haven't got an ID parade. You've got him with a fixed address. You've got another date. I don't see the point trying to hold him to tomorrow to take him to a court, so we have to get him bail again. I mean, I don't see the point. Well, I mean, you will have to take him to court if you hold him and you can't do anything. I mean, you'll have to take him to court. You've held him since 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, not until tomorrow afternoon.
All right, tomorrow afternoon. Why on earth can't you just come back on the 18th of December when it's been agreed?
Because at the moment, I don't think he'll turn up.
Well, do you happen to know he's on another case at the moment?
I don't.
He's on a surety. Well, if I could tell you about that other case, he's on bail at the moment with a £1,000 surety due to appear.
With no disrespect, whatever he's on, if we can get him sorted out whilst he is in police custody and we can do it within the terms of PACE, we will do it. Sorry, across the way, yeah. It appears to me now that she wasn't aware of the seriousness of the offence which is in custody for. And I think having been made aware of his position. That
Well, she jumped in with 2 feet saying, this man must have bail, why do you keep him in? She didn't even know the circumstances of the robbery. We're talking about a man here who could have died. And there she is, she's arguing with us, and even know what it's about. And when I just took him down to the cell and put him in there and she went in, she said, hey, this is serious. This is the first time that she's realised that what the charge that he's facing down there.
It's the same old story. It's her duty to do her best by him, and it's our duty to do our best for the victim and general public.
She's got the ump.
Under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, each certain periods his detention has to be reviewed by an inspector if it's before he's been charged. And he's got to see whether there are grounds to continue or to authorise his continued detention. I think, and we think, that there's ample grounds at the moment because we're still making inquiries into the offence.
I mean, naturally, I've got to look at the bail aspect between today and tomorrow.
I mean, there's no way we could hold that ID parade before midday. I mean, time we get out together first thing in the morning, get our witnesses, get our stooges in, get the inspector. We have to brief, obviously, tomorrow.
There's a long time between now and tomorrow afternoon to hold, just for the purposes of an identification parade. Yeah, the investigation is meant to be conducted as quickly as possible. And if we're not doing it, we've got this massive delay in between.
So what if we try to do an ID parade tonight, we could hold it?
Yeah. There's no problem with tonight. It's having this massive time delay in between.
We'll have to try. Firstly, what would be the position if your troops could stay on duty to assist us if our end authorised the overtime?
It would need to be a direct order because we're down to 3 troops now. That's your problem.
So, but you're finishing at 8, aren't you?
Finish at 8. Yeah.
But if they're willing to stay on,
Well, if they're
and our people were willing to pay their overtime.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, unless I'm here, you will not use the suite.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the suite.
Yeah.
Forget the suite.
No, then you must deal with Brixton.
Yeah, the inspector.
Completely.
Yeah.
And PCs and everybody else.
Oh, yeah, not at all. What about your contacts?
No, I think if
You won't get them.
you won't, not being funny,
won't
you
get hold
won't
of
get them. It's not as easy as that, because I can assure you, if we could have got them for you today, we would have done so. It takes time. I mean, you've got to realise that your block is quite distinctive racially. We had 14 volunteers in here for that parade. 14.
You'll be
You're
out
talking
there
about midnight.
for hours on end.
You know the lady concerned, I may be wrong, but whereas I think we might have negotiated, because she has been, I don't know what your view is of her, but she's always been very fair here.
We've clashed straight away.
That's
Sorry.
right, that's
Sorry.
right.
I
That's
think
right.
the problem was with her, she didn't realise what
We could have had to, if we'd had
client was
enough of
facing.
5, if we'd had 5 or 6 out of the 8, roughly, she would have accepted that. But I think she may now say to you, I want 8.
Yeah,
And
being awkward,
you can't
yeah.
odds it. You can't odds it.
She wants to get off and do some.
That's right.
That's right, I know.
I mean, obviously there's personalities involved now, but I think whereas she would have accepted a little bit more, less, that's right. We have always found her
Quite helpful.
quite helpful, yes. Believe it or not, regardless of how you've had dealings with her.
It's annoying. But I mean, looking at practical, there's no way we're going to get an ID off tonight. They know what they're doing in there. Just don't want to tell this bird, this one.
Yeah, we've regrettably come to the decision we don't think we'll be able to manage to get the parade together. So, in view of that, I don't think we can keep him here any longer. Time being. In view of that, can we bail him to reappear on the 18th of this month?
Yes.
What do you want?
Start the robbery.
Well,
She has her own home, the home they live in is a privately owned house.
Is that Glenville Terrace?
can we say, could I suggest £5,000 for her?
Yep, let's try.
And is there? Could he get another surety?
Tonight? I don't know how easy that would
If
be.
you could ask her, if she can try.
Certainly are not.
I mean, at the end of the day, obviously, we're going to have to accept the one
That's £5,000.
£5,000, yeah.
from the mother.
I'll try. It's £5,000. Carl says you own your own house, and that would be due as an asset. They would agree to that. You don't have to provide £5,000, but you understand if he doesn't appear at the next date, you may well lose that £5,000, or you'd have to explain to the judge why you shouldn't. And if you come down to the police station now, they will take your signature as a surety for him, and they'll release him tonight to return to the station next Friday.
You're going to be released on bail to reappear at the police station on Friday the 18th of December 1987 at 12 noon. Now, if you fail to appear on that date, you commit the further offence of absconding from bail, which carries a fine and imprisonment. Do you understand that? If you sign on that bottom line there.
One Fairfax house.
Yeah, ready?
Well, we'll see you back on the 18th.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
So, after all that, he was released.
That's right.
Much against our will, but our hands were tied.
See how it goes. I mean, if he turns up, then all it's done is delayed whatever was going to happen today. If he doesn't turn up, then back to the drawing board. Have to wait and see.
Do you think he will turn up?
I don't, no.
£12, no sign. What are the odds now?
It's still heavy.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if he's going to come, it's not going to be unusual
For being 5
for
2
someone to be late. So, I mean, there's no significance in the fact that he's not here as yet.
The only problem we could have if he pushes on being much later is our witness is going to come in the same door he's going to come in. So that could mess up the identification, but we'd have to go out and stop that.
At 12:15, Carlos Ricketts arrives at Brixton Police Station.
He's downstairs.
Yeah, I know, I've just been down. And it looks like there's a couple coming in for the ID parade as well.
Just spoke with the inspector. Miss Baker is at Crown Court at the moment, but she won't be very late.
This time, enough men who look like Ricketts are found, and the identity parade takes place.
The result here is out of 4 witnesses, only 3 attended today. The 4th one's got a problem, but one person has identified him, which is the security guard from Tesco's, which is a good result, really. He was the strongest, certainly out of those 3, wasn't he, Chris?
Without a doubt.
It's unfortunate the 4th person couldn't make it today, but we'll hold another ID parade for her at a later stage.
With the positive identification, Doherty and Hodgetts feel they have a strong enough case with which to charge Ricketts.
The second charge is that you did on Wednesday the 21st of October 1987 unlawfully and maliciously cause grievous bodily harm to Graham Linus with intent to do him some grievous bodily harm. Do you understand that charge? Is there anything you want to say in reply? You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. 440.
See you in the morning.
On the 1st of August 1988, at the Inner London Crown Court, Carlos Ricketts was found guilty of robbery and causing grievous bodily harm. He was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment.